What's up? What's up? Thanks for coming back through. All right, we're doing this one from the road. We are doing this one from lovely Paris, France. Last time I did a shoe review here was last summer when I had just picked up the Y3s down at Adidas. Plan on going there again today, so look out for something later from there. But I love doing these from the road, and it is super special when I get to do them from across the planet. Today, we're going to be reviewing a shoe that I couldn't order because they did not ship it to the States unless I bought it from a private owner. And it's pretty amazing because I used to live here in France, and when I did, one of my favorite stores was Decathlon. Decathlon is like a mix between like Dick's Sporting Goods, Shields, or any other box store in the States and Walmart. I know that sounds like a really weird mix, but great prices. And a lot of times the way they get those good prices is they don't have all of the extras. Like for instance, these shoes did not come in a box. They were right there on the rack in their size designation. And I got them for a great price. Yeah, let's just get into it because these are pretty cool. Today, we're going to be talking about the Kiprun KD900X. The 900 is kind of crazy. It is a Pebax based shoe, carbon fiber plate. We're going to look at all of those features. But what's wild about it is it was only 150 euros, which is super wild because a shoe with this kind of quality would easily be $225 US. I know there's an exchange rate on the euro, but still 150 euros is crazy for a shoe of this quality and these features. It's absolutely wild to get a flagship designation shoe at that price point. Kalenji is an interior brand of Decathlon, chaussures de courir, or running shoes. And it's super crazy to get a shoe of this quality at that price point. But again, with none of the frills, Decathlon can offer these at such a good value. A mix of everything you could possibly want in a high performance racing shoe, but you can train in it. Now, normally I wouldn't say you would train too heavily in a shoe that's this stiff with that much carbon fiber. It does have the V foam, which is their Pebax foam, but this shoe is a really good all-arounder. And it comes for a couple of different reasons. So let's get into it. We'll talk upper, midsole, outsole like we always do. The upper is this sort of woven mesh. It is synthetic. It's not cloth, but it is quite breathable. If not a little plasticky feeling at first. You know, if you're a no sock wearer, that's going to take some softening up. Thin socks, running socks, you should be fine. The shoe is not very wide. It is form fitting, but has a really good feel. It's easily slipped on because of traditional tongue and laces. Tongue is not gusseted, okay? So you definitely don't have the gusseted tongue. However, it doesn't move on you. It's actually pretty locked in. You've got the keeper that keeps it from sliding. Plus, the way that it's sewn down there at the front keeps it pretty good, keeps it legit. It's got reinforced eye stays there. You can kind of see the translucent colors coming through. It's fused front and back. Their colors of pink and green are kind of coming through there, so you can see those. Really good lockdown. It's got sort of a wide tie base, so you can get these pretty snug around your foot. You know, and the sides won't meet. You have some shoes where you tie them and there's so much cloth that side to side, these actually start meeting in the middle. Well, these don't do that. These will allow you to get a good snug fit and tie them down pretty good. I love the aglets there. Just little details like that where the pink and green come through in the aglets. Laces are woven laces, a little bit thin, and I don't know, they get twisted a little bit, but that's me being super picky. I have to admit, the design is just super sexy. There's no other way to put it. This is a good looking shoe. You got some heel pads here for lockdown. Now they are a little bit bigger than what you would normally find in that padding that kind of sits on the inside. Adidas has done it, Nike has done it. These lock in on your Achilles pretty well, on the side, just below the ankle, just on the side of the Achilles. I got zero rubbing. I was walking miles in them yesterday, as I was coaching and walking around Paris, doing a little bit of sightseeing. No rubbing at all, no rubbing issues. A little bit of gapping, but that's because the padding doesn't come all the way up around the ankle. You've got that no-sew upper there where it's just kind of fused together. I love that. Keep on running. That's cool. I don't see any reflectivity on this, other than the brighter colors. It just seems to be a straightforward upper, no frills. And again, no frills, great price point. Love that little design accent up the back. Let's look at that midsole. Really slim, smacks of the Vaporfly, totally gives cues of Nike with their Alpha Fly Vaporfly line. But who isn't? It's a popular shoe, known to get the results. So, why reinvent the wheel, right? Especially with a more bargain brand like this. But it doesn't lack. It doesn't lack at all. Very streamlined look. Great heel protection. You can kind of feel that when you're stepping down. The heel toe transition got better as I broke them in a little bit. Definitely a soft shoe, but even with that stack height, it's a little more responsive than I expected it to be. The forefoot cushioning is great, but it is stiff. Let me tell you, it is a very terse reaction when you hit that ground, which is why I think this could really work both ways. As a trainer, it could work as a race shoe. Sometimes the softness of Pebax foam shoes, they get wobbly, they get a little bit messy and sloppy because of the softness. But I think that's how they put the plate in that actually helped with that. A lot of times that S-curve plate sits higher up in the shoe. This one, you can kind of tell, maybe the black line is an indicator. The plate sits closer to the ground in this. There's the carbon fiber plate that sits right underneath. It is a full palm carbon fiber plate that runs the full length, but it also seems to be a little bit wider than most. Because I couldn't feel, sometimes in a carbon plated shoe, you can feel where the plate sits in the middle and you're falling off the edges of it. This one seems to have some pretty substantial width to it, which I really did like. Exposed Pebax foam on the bottom, so that's going to get a little beat up and dirty, you can tell with there. But really good look. Let's get into that outsole now, because I'm showing it, and also it's pretty crucial to the feel of the shoe. So you've got actual rubber compound, full coverage, all the way to the toe, like all the way to the toe. And it's a really, really good feel, really good grip. I'm all over the city on different surfaces. Felt great. Again, exposed on the midsection of the foot, but because it's sitting flush and there's no real cutouts there, your transition is pretty good. You don't feel that sort of clunk clunk getting heel to toe. The heel cushioning is almost kind of tire-like, that split pad on the bottom, either side there, and the sort of kind of whale tail sticking out the back, like a Nike, like a Vaporfly. Definitely does help the transition. The roll is really nice because of that. You've got a little more base. It's not as narrow as most high-end carbon-plated runners, which often causes me a problem. I don't know how about you guys, but I like to have a little bit of width on the shoe. It's actually really, really good. Now, as I said, it's kind of crazy. This shoe came with this tag, just sitting on the rack, a EU45. Now, the sizing, let's get into that real quick. The sizing for this is a EU45, which is typically a US 11.5, as you can see. But the way that this shoe is made, I fit it just fine. I'm actually wearing my crafts this trip. And so my craft, let's see, my crafts right there are fitting the exact same way, and my crafts are US 12. So I'm having no problems with this one right here in the EU 45. Now, if I could have gotten a 46, I would have gone for it. But with the fit of this shoe, I'm thinking it's fitting somewhere between exact to a half size big, for those who are wondering. What I find interesting and really cool is this is definitely a shoe that was designed in France. You can tell that some of the cues are a little bit different. I love getting things that were designed in other countries, just from the standpoint of getting to see their aesthetic, getting to see the things that they value, getting to see the things that they like to see in a shoe. You know, you get the same with shoes designed in Japan, not just made in Japan or China, but designed. I've talked about this with the Li Ning shoes. So that is the KD900X. And the X does stand for the carbon fiber plate. There is a KD900 that I was going to get, didn't like the heel toe transition. I'll see if I can put a picture of it up. And maybe if someone has that pair in the comments, you can tell us how you like that pair versus this pair. Both of those, actually the whole Kalenji line, because of Decathlon, is only available in Europe. There is a Decathlon on the West Coast in the States, but they didn't have this on their site. So I'm glad that I was able to pick this up while I was over in France. I love it. KD900X. Thank you guys for coming back through. I really love doing these on the road, and I appreciate you coming along with me. Like I said, I'm not done in France yet, so there'll be some other things. We'll pick something up, maybe have another review for you here in a bit. But appreciate you. Peace.